Well, you guys, I already kind of mentioned it already. This is something that, just getting up here. Actually, I was going to talk about it in a second, but I'll go there. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Let's start there, because some of you don't know me yet. So, and I did it different than last week. So those of you that heard it last week, it's different because I was like, oh God, you're going to hear the same thing again. So want to change it up a little bit. Just so you guys know, I had absolutely no real estate experience at all. I was not a realtor. I did not have parents that were contractors. No experience at all. Never, I had a condo and rented a room, but that was because I was broke and I needed money. So I rented a room. I say broke. I was broke. Yeah. I was working at Costco and, just trying to make ends meet and rented a room. And then I just really had a desire to learn. So that was like really my only thing that got me going was wanting to learn. And then you guys now know me as the mobile home queen. I thank you for everyone that started saying that. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to own it. So, and then people knowing that now, they're like, oh, that girl that does the mobile homes. And I'm getting a lot of leads that way. So it's kind of, when you make it known, what you're doing, that really helps you out. And then I didn't really consider myself an educator, but when I thought about it, I'm like, I'm kind of doing that. So here I am, and I'm a flipper and an investor. And I'm also very, very passionate, and a lot of you know this already, about helping everyone else and just helping you guys be more confident in your actions and making educated decisions. So anytime you need help, there's plenty of us. Darren's always helping. Rich is available to help. Goodwin's always available. Evan, there's a lot of us that are willing to help. Patrick I think him and Roy just teamed up on a deal, and he's learning a lot through the deal with Patrick. So it's really cool, to collaborate as well. So that is my passion. So anyone that needs help, just let me know, and we'll schedule a phone call and get talking about your goals. All right, so my current projects, I updated it from last week because I realized it's actually incorrect. So I have 12 mobile homes right now. 2 of them are in escrow. 4 are on the market. That Rosamond one, yeah. I'm actually looking at moving it possibly to another park because I think it's just in a bad location. So that is my redheaded stepchild right there. It's killing me. But and then I have 6 in rehab. They're in Hemet, Yucca Valley, Indio, and Pico Rivera. So if you know anyone looking to buy, those are the areas I have them. People are always texting me, do you have anything for sale? That's where I have them for sale. And then I have a single family flip in Menifee. That's a doozy. And we'll probably add TBD on that one. That'll be an interesting one. All right, so I just want to officially welcome you all and just kind of give you the intention of what I wanted to accomplish tonight. I want to let you know that this is a safe space. Yes, I'm using that terminology. This is a safe space. A lot of us already know each other for several years. So I want you guys as much as you can. If you have something you want to share or say, just know that I don't feel like anyone's judging you because we're all here to learn. And then you're not alone, right? I think a lot of us have a lot of fear and want to face our fears, and we're all here doing it together. And then my typical disclaimer, I'm not sharing any super crazy things, but I just want you to know that anything I'm sharing, I don't have any licenses whatsoever. Like how Andy says it, I only have my driver's license. So I'm not a licensed professional in any way. So just make sure you talk to a licensed professional about anything that I'm talking about tonight. And then Goodwin and Rich are going to be sharing a story. So anything that they say is also their personal story. And it's not to be taken take it with a grain of salt and seek a licensed professional. There. All right. So why this matters, and I should say why it matters to me, isn't fear the silent killer of taking action, right? How many of us, anytime something's new and taking that first step, it's that uncomfortable, that Yes, thank you. Yay, thank you. Yes. You're giving the eyeballs. Yeah, and it's just that first step. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that, how we can overcome that. Investors at all levels experience this. So people tell me, like, oh man, you're doing all this stuff, and I'm scared every single time. Like, I'm gonna fail. This is gonna happen. Anyway, we'll get into more of that. And it doesn't go away. You just get a little bit more comfortable. So they, like if you're stretching a rubber band, every single time it stretches out a little bit more. You just hope it doesn't snap, but you get more. I saw a lot of people nodding their heads. You get used to it. It's just that. And I think Goodwin and I had talked about this. I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable. But he's like, well, it just depends. How comfortable are you being uncomfortable? So the more comfortable you are being uncomfortable, it's going to be easier for you to take action. So my personal fears, this is what I was going to share earlier, but I don't want to jump the gun. How many of you know, or I've told you at some point, that I am scared to be up here? Right? I'm scared. People are like, what? You just get up there, it looks so natural. No, and even though I know you guys, it's hard. I mean, if I called one of you up just to share a story, it's like, oh, can I do it from my chair? It's, no one really wants to come up on stage. It's hard. So I get nervous every time I stand up here, and then after like 10, 15 minutes, I kind of get into my flow, and then I look at all the happy faces, or hopefully, Andy's not here, so I can't tease him for sleeping in the back or anything like that. But, I can look out to you guys, and I'm like, I've pretty much, with every single person here, I've had a conversation at some point, so you guys aren't that scary, and then I can get over it. So, I believe, learn to breathe and just kind of do it anyway. So that's kind of here's the thing. We don't need to be fearless. You just got to take that small step, right? That small step. I remember when Rich told me, oh, yeah, we're going to co-host the rentals together. I'm like, okay. And then he's like, never mind. You're going to do it by yourself. And I'm like, wait, Evan gets Jim and Goodwin and Andy, but I'm by myself. I have to be up there by myself. And that was very scary. But here it is over a year later, getting more comfortable. So, and the cool thing, or you guys know this, but you can mitigate the fear, right? We can lessen it. We could try to help ourselves. So how you can do that, it's natural, but it doesn't have to stop you. I said how. This is, you can mitigate it by these things. Sorry, you guys. I'm still a little nervous. That's why I wanted to talk about this, because I want to show you guys, even though I'm doing all these deals, you could still be scared in situations and still take action. So that's why I just want to be living proof for that. Trust me, it's doable. So it's natural, but it doesn't have to stop you. And then the power of being in this group. So, man, if Farrah is scared, well, this feeling is normal, and knowing that about each other and us sharing that with each other, then it's not so scary anymore. That's a normal feeling. This is normal, unfortunately. All right, you could lessen your fear. You could educate yourself, right? You're all here, so the more you know, right? Like the commercial, the more you know. I don't think that's how it went, but, with the star at the end. Do you guys remember that? I don't know how the little jingle went, but the more you know. Surrounding yourself with action takers. So a lot of us in this room are actively doing deals. We're not a club that, of people just coming and leaving and not doing anything. I'm looking around the room. People are doing deals in this room. So it's really exciting. And then partnering with someone more experienced, right? So an example, so I offered some learning opportunities today during exchangers. And just like, how can you learn? Maybe you have money that you want to lend, but you don't have the time or energy or knowledge. You can partner with someone, and then you could earn and learn at the same time. So I'm doing some of that with you already. I partnered with a few of you, and we've learned together. We're still learning, Christy. We're still learning. She's working with me on the Rosemont deal. Oh man. And then, I'm just looking for more people that are interested in opportunities to learn and grow together. And let's chat. So if you want to talk to me after or set up a call, you could scan my QR code at the end. All right. So my very first deal, some of you have heard this story. My very first deal, I remember, was I had made about 10 offers at this point, and people had said yes already, but then the park said no. Or the park said yes, and then they changed their minds because I think they wanted the deal, or who knows what their reason was. But when I finally got my first deal, I called Andrew, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Oh, I didn't say I'm so scared. I said, guess what? He's like, what? I'm like, he said yes. He's like, oh no. And then, what did you say? I think he just said I feel like you just told me you're pregnant. Right? That nervous but excited feeling at the same time, which I was not pregnant and have not been. So, but that was my first deal. I was terrified. I was so scared. I remember being in the middle of it, hating every minute of it. Andrew did the demo, and there was 5 different types of flooring that he had to go through, and he doesn't want to ever do demo again. He has major PTSD to this day. We both have had nightmares about 103. We just call it 103. It was pretty scary. And then in the middle of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, we just put all this money on our 0% interest credit card, on his credit card. And at the time, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. So I'm like, I just racked up my boyfriend's credit card for something that he believes in me for, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to sell this, which I did, obviously. But my point is, I was scared. I put all this money on a credit card. I used all of my savings. I didn't know if it was going to pan out. And I didn't even feel ready. I called Andy a gazillion times. Jose was the student speaker, Jose Moncada, and I called him a gazillion times. And what do I say when I go to a seller's house? What do I look for? All those questions that everyone has. I was there. I was scared, and I didn't think I can do it. I took the leap anyway. So this is actually funny. So I just did it, but then I got scared after I took action. Has that happened to anyone? You get scared after the fact? Yeah, so it doesn't always come in the beginning. Sometimes it comes in the middle or towards the end. Man, I don't think I'm ever going to sell this Rosemont mobile home. I'm scared. What am I going to do? Right? I have an the investor's happy because he's getting interest-only payments, and he's like, just keep paying me the interest, and I don't care. I'm like, all right, but at the same time, I need to sell it. I don't want to pay that money every month. That's a learned lesson of mine. But my very first deal, it's the one that really gave me that confidence that once I sold it, I'm like, oh, I could do this again, right? And then, okay, so I see what I did wrong, which at that time I thought the only thing I did wrong. Looking back, I could tell you the million things I did wrong, but at the time, I overpaid for it. So I probably could have bought it for $1,000 and I paid $5,000 for it. But then I learned how to negotiate better, how to get them to say their number first, and different ways to do that, and talking to many of you, how do you get that number first, and things like that. So you learn from it. Yeah, it was $4,000, but I've paid more on. Do you guys remember all those slides that I did for my education last week? I probably spent at least, with my, not including my mastermind, probably at least $25,000 over the last 5 years. Between airfare, right, Marty? You know what I'm talking about. He's going to more stuff than me. It adds up, but that education is such a valuable piece. So what does fear look like, right? So it doesn't always oh, I'm scared, right? So could you guys think of anything that really stands out that it might not be called fear? No? What's the unknown? Yeah. Yes, good one. Oh, manifesting their fear in busy work. Interesting. So analyzing deals over and over and not doing anything? Oh. Oh, yes. So everything has to be perfect and just so before I can start. Okay, everything needs to be lined up. Those are really good. So and this is not an all-inclusive list, and Rich had actually done a presentation similar, talking about fears and things too, probably like 6 months back or so. So these might sound real familiar. Analysis paralysis, that's a common one, right? Like you're analyzing it so much because you're afraid of what, right? What are you afraid of? Making a mistake, yep. There's that perfectionism. Fear of losing money, right? That's a big one. Fear of rejection, right? Making an offer, someone saying no. Fear of letting others down, your family, right? So we're going to go into each one of these a little bit more. So the fear of analysis paralysis. So over-researching. You're just like, keep researching, waiting for the perfect time, right? Everyone's waiting for those rates to go down so they could buy something, or they're waiting for the crash. How many of you have heard someone say, "Oh, I'm just waiting for it to crash," right? So if the numbers work today, it's a deal, right? Last 35 years, and that's including 08. So that was a crash. So yeah. So people have been saying that. What if in 5 years today's prices are the lowest they ever were or will be? You're going to be like, dang, I should have bought 5 years ago. It's just if you run the numbers and they work today, and a lot of people like, oh, it'll work as a short-term rental, but will it work as a long-term rental, right? So it's just talking to people and seeing. That's what I've heard is if you're going to buy a property, it needs to work as a long-term rental. Yeah, great, do a short-term rental, make more money, make more cash flow, but you really want it to work for a long-term rental, because what happens if the short-term rental market changes? They take away your operating permit. Then what? You're stuck with this house that you can't afford the payments, and you're upside down. So there's never a perfect time. There really isn't. I mean, if I would have known in 2019, I would have bought a whole bunch more houses. Before COVID, but I mean, it's hindsight, right? All the time. So you just want to replace that analysis with small actionable steps. So, okay, I'm going to analyze this property for like 20 minutes, or I'm going to call Farrah, Rich, Goodwin, Evan, whoever, and like talk to them about it, and getting someone else's advice. You run your numbers. You can make practice calls. Text. Oh, this is one big thing that during Fire Fast we would really tell people is text and call. And I put at least one person every day. I think we said 5. Just one person. Hey, I'm looking for, whatever you want to ask them. Like, I just started investing, or I've been investing. I really want to buy another property. Do you know anyone? Right? Talk to your neighbors. So it's just whatever you need to do, just a small step, right? Or pick a day that you're going to call 5 people.